We're glad you're with us tonight. I'm Lynn Brooks. Louisiana residents are preparing for Hurricane Delta's landfall. Governor John Bel Edwards saying they're expecting the storm to hit in almost the same place Hurricane Laura landed in August. Due to the more precise forecast of the track, Alabama Governor Kay Ivey has canceled her mandatory evacuation order for Mobile and Baldwin counties. Our chief meteorologist Richard Scott is following the storm closely, of course. And where is it and how's it look, Richard?
Lynn, this is just surreal, really, what's happening here. This hurricane is so impressive. This is Delta, and we're seeing that eye feature. This is the visible satellite. We're looking down from space from our satellite, and you can see the structure of this hurricane. And again, just for reference, that's Brownsville, Texas, right there. This thing is moving almost due north towards the Louisiana Gulf Coast, and where this thing will make impact is almost the perfect spot, the exact spot Hurricane Laura hit back in August. Just unreal to see that. There's something we just don't see in terms of meteorology. It just doesn't happen. Two powerful hurricanes like that, and certainly our friends in Louisiana are about to deal with another blow, a hard blow at that in western Louisiana. This hurricane is larger now. It's gaining size and intensity. Wind sustained at 115 miles an hour. It's moving northwest to 12, now moving more north than west. But notice the track from the Hurricane Center. This comes up on southwest Louisiana Friday afternoon, and then it moves across west Mississippi as we go into the day on Saturday. As it gets closer to Alabama, we will have some impacts here locally across central Alabama. The main wind well back to the west of Louisiana and Mississippi. It will be breezy here on Saturday. Winds gusting about 30 to maybe 35 in spots during the day on Saturday. In terms of rainfall amounts, we're looking at generally 2 to 3 inches north of I-20. Areas south there about 1 to 2 inches with this event. And again, Alabama's Gulf Coast, the impacts there will be minor, but they will see some rain and breezy conditions along Alabama's coast. Winds there around 20 to 30 miles an hour from Mobile and Baldwin counties. Also got Christopher Pipkin, who is down in Lafayette, Louisiana. And Christopher, this is really just surreal. It's like deja vu.
Oh yes, definitely. It has been like deja vu, especially coming down in here because we were here at least a few weeks ago, about a month ago, whenever Hurricane Laura actually started to come into at least Lafayette and the southwestern part of Louisiana as a major hurricane. And just coming down here again for the second time during this hurricane season definitely gets surreal. I mean, just seeing a lot of the evacuation taking place and just a lot of the tarps, but people still have not recovered from Hurricane Laura down here, Richard, and it definitely is. You can definitely tell that Hurricane Laura was here still, and they're just now getting ready to get impacted again by Hurricane Delta. So definitely a sad and surreal moment here for Louisiana.
Now, Christopher, we talked on the phone earlier today, and you mentioned driving to Lafayette, the traffic coming back almost bumper to bumper.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it was definitely a bumper to bumper all the way here, especially noticing it whenever I was coming into Louisiana from Jackson, Mississippi. And it just stayed that way pretty much the whole entire way, especially coming in all the way at least to Baton Rouge and then down to Lafayette, Louisiana, too. And I can only imagine how much worse it's going to be as at least the evacuation routes start to become at least more clogged. And we're just going to see a lot more of that as that hurricane does start to approach the coast now, which is now, at least if I'm correct, Richard, is it's Category 3 hurricane, a major hurricane, and expected to be a Cat 2 whenever it lands, right?
Yeah, Christopher, we're looking at Category 3 right now. It could actually continue to strengthen. We're looking at the visible satellite. This thing looks really impressive, and that is troubling. See this come up on Louisiana coast. Does it look like people are taking this storm more serious compared to Laura as you're down there talking with people?
Yeah, so I did stop at a gas station earlier, and I noticed at least the buildings starting to get boarded up into the area, but definitely people are taking it seriously and are beginning to evacuate. Richard.
Hey, Christopher, thank you for that live report. We'll talk with you again coming up at 6 o'clock. Now let's go over to Lynn Brooks.
Good evening, and thanks so much for joining us. I'm Tamika Alexander. Hurricane Delta has strengthened to a Category 3 storm. It has winds of 115 miles per hour as it turns toward Louisiana. The National Hurricane Center expects Delta to strengthen again over the next 24 hours. The storm is moving through the Gulf of Mexico and is expected to make landfall in southwest Louisiana late tomorrow afternoon. That's the same area where Hurricane Laura made landfall 6 weeks ago. Our very own Christopher Pipkin traveled to Louisiana during that storm, and he is back there now and joins us live with more. Christopher?
Hey, good evening, Tamika. We are live here in Lafayette, Louisiana, where we are tracking Hurricane Delta, which will make for the second hurricane to hit the area this season.
Preparations are now underway along the Louisiana coastline as they prepare for what will be the second hurricane to hit the state in a matter of weeks.
Kind of wish it was going somewhere else, but it doesn't look like it. Got to get all my loose stuff up.
On Thursday, the National Hurricane Center updated the track of Hurricane Delta, giving it a similar path as Hurricane Laura. And the recent hurricane impacted Louisiana in late August, destroying over 10,000 homes and damaging more than 35,000 others.
Not many homes or businesses escaped any damage.
Look, as tarps cover many structures still in Lake Charles, Louisiana, and with major evacuation orders underway in areas still recovering from Hurricane Laura and many structures totally ruined, officials are urging residents to stay prepared.
The advisory still shows that Assumption Parish will be in the wind field of tropical storm winds, sustained winds, so we encourage everyone to take that seriously and start making those preparations.
Now, again, this will make for the second hurricane to hit southwest Louisiana this season. And while Delta is not expected to become as strong, it is important to remember that many here are still recovering from Hurricane Laura, and it's going to make for a very sad situation. So reporting live here for Lafayette, Louisiana, I'm Christopher Pipkin.
Thanks, Christopher. And Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott is also watching Hurricane Delta. He joins us live with more. Richard.
Hey, Tamika, here's the very latest information. Winds sustained at 115. Hurricane hunters in the storm right now investigating the pressure and the wind speed. Looks like pressures continue to slowly fall. Wind speeds have stayed the same over the past 2 to 3 hours, but we may see a slight increase in the winds over the next 6 hours prior to landfall. Here, there are hurricane warnings for the Louisiana Gulf Coast, central and southwest Louisiana, where that area will be a hard hit by this hurricane. Here's the track from the National Hurricane Center. This comes in sometime Friday afternoon and Friday evening as a Category 2, possibly still a Category 3 storm. Then it's going to move into Mississippi on Saturday. Once it gets closer to Alabama, we'll begin to see quite a breeze developing on Saturday. I don't expect any major wind impact. It will be rather breezy, winds gusting about 30 to 35 over west and central Alabama. Mississippi, that's your higher wind, especially near and southwest of Jackson. Some damage there expected with power outages likely there Friday night into Saturday. But here locally again, we are looking at those breezy conditions, and we've increased the rain amounts. Model data back in the ball game here in terms of seeing quite a bit of rainfall out of this. Generally 2 to 3 inches near north of Interstate 20. South of there, 1 to 2 inches is something we actually need. We need the rainfall here locally. I do expect along the Alabama Gulf Coast breezy conditions, but no major impact there. Rain amounts generally around 1 to 2 inches. Now Saturday, there could be a few isolated tornadoes across central and west Alabama midday through 9 o'clock Saturday evening. We'll talk more about that, plus your complete 7-day coming up in just a few minutes.